Hello, welcome back to Guitar Club. This week we're going to have a look at the M EFCS software for the MK300. We're going to look at all the various functions and look at some exciting new additions to the software, which we'll have a look at the end. The first thing we're going to do is open the software, and you'll see that it finds the MK300 because it's plugged in via USB. It will connect up and go to this opening screen showing the parameters. From this screen we can select the various modules, and you can see that there's a drop-down list for each which will show you the types of effect that are available. So here we're on the wah, and if we click on the drop-down you can see we've got a variety of different types of wah effect, and the same is true for most of these different modules within the effects. So we're just going to try some of the different ones. Here we've got the FX module. Here this contains the compressors, octave effects, the new whammy effect. So from that we've got the noise gate, and we've got various different types of gate. There's also compressor in here, which I've used because I don't like the noise gate, but it's quite useful to have a separate compressor. From there we move on to the distortion effects that we've got, and again you can select one from quite a large list. Then we've got the amp models, and again enormous list of different amps, including any that you may have downloaded from the community. We'll have a look at the community section later, and here you can tweak the amps to get the correct levels and so on. Next you've got the cabinet block, which contains your IRs that you've downloaded or the built-in ones, and again quite a big list to choose from. Next we have the EQ block with 3 different types of EQ available: 10-band, there's a 7-band bass EQ and a 6-band guitar EQ. Then we have modulation with a wide range of different modulations: tremolos, vibratos, univibe, etc. I'd like to see a harmonic trem in here. And next we've got delays, a wide range of different types of delay, from clean, you've got all sorts of different ones in here. Some interesting analog ones with tremolo, ducking delays. There's even a pattern delay with a variety of different patterns in there, which is an interesting one. Lots of stereo delays at the end there. So worth trying out the stereo delays if you're running into a stereo output. And next and finally, a whole range of different reverbs, from room, hall, spring, again various stereo ones at the end of the list. Some interesting cloud and swell, shimmer reverbs, all sorts of different ones in there. And finally the volume pedal. You can change the order of any of the modules within a preset. So for instance, some of you might prefer to have EQ earlier in the chain, or maybe the wah before a distortion or after, so you have freedom to move them around as you like here. Any of the modules could be moved into any specific order. Once we've finished editing, obviously we want to save that preset, so we click on the save button and that will save it to the currently selected preset on the pedal. We can also save it to a specific location on the pedal. On the More menu you can share current preset, which means saving the current one. You can also import presets from here. So you save it to wherever you want to store it, and then you can bring it back with import. You can swap to specific presets within the pedal. You can share all of the presets, so you're saving them for a backup probably, which you can then load later by import all presets, and that will allow you to restore your backup. You can also export a snapshot from here. So you're creating a snapshot from a preset, which you can then import into your snapshots. You can also edit the color of the buttons on the light surrounds on the buttons on the pedal. So you can see different colors for different presets. And also you can do a factory restore from here, which I won't be doing just now. Next, we have access to all the global settings for the pedals, USB and so on. The next one, we have the parametric EQ, which is nice. We can drag the volumes around to change them on here. Access to the looper settings and the drum settings. Next, we're going to look at the sound section, which allows you to load sounds that you've downloaded. Here I'm looking at the distortion section, actually thinking it was the amps, but it's actually a distortion. But you can then audition those by sending them to the pedal and save to the pedal if you want to. You can see here I'm actually looking at the wrong section. That's the distortions, not the amps. So there we are. I've realised that's that. So here we've got the amps, and you can see the amps that I've downloaded, the captures. You can again load these onto the pedal from here. Usually use a spare space. If you don't use bass, then maybe save them to where the bass pedals are, or save them somewhere where there's a capture that you're not keen on. Next, we've got cabinets. This is the cabinet IR section, so you can load those to the device. And again, we'll look at the community stuff of how you can download your own from the community a little bit later on. So you select the one that you want and then save it to the slot that you want. And it'll give you the option to rename it here as well. You can see I decided to rename this one something a bit more meaningful and save that. Next is the import section, which is where you can import downloaded snapshots to the device. The interesting thing is it contains all of the models that are used in the snapshot, so the amp, the IR and so on. So even if you don't have them on your pedal already, you'll have them in the snapshot. And now we're in the community section. We're looking at amps. So I'm searching for an amp here. I've searched for a Marshall. You can preview it. That sounds pretty terrible because there's no IR associated with that. It's just a head. So we now need to find ourselves an IR. So we'll remove that from the search. You can see here you can search for all sorts of different categories. Now we're searching for an IR. I'm going to search for a Celestion. I'm going to misspell it, so it's going to take a second or two. Spotted the misspelling, so we'll change that. Search again, and now I've found a Marshall cabinet. We'll audition that by clicking on the little headphones. You can see now that that's in the IR section. Press play again. So you can hear that sounds a bit better now. Once you've found the profiles that you want, you can then click on the link there to download them, decide where you want to save it, confirm, and that will download onto your into your computer. Next, I'm just going to do the speaker. So again, search for it. We heard these earlier. I had to record this bit again because I messed up the filming. So find the cabinet that you want, search for it, click on the link, it will open up. You can listen to it as we did earlier, but if you click on the link from here, it will download the profile. That's downloaded. These then become available in your sound section. So if we go back to that now, there in sounds. So if you look under amps, there are the ones that we've downloaded, and you can then audition them on the pedal and save them to the device. So you click on save to device and then you decide where you want to save it. I haven't done it here because it made my screen capture crash out. You can do the same process with cabinet IRs again, test them, audition them on the pedal, and then save them to the device. Now we get something really exciting, which is the audio separators hidden away on the top menu. This allows you to split any audio file down into stems. So here I'm importing some songs from my local music library. If you click on the separate icon there, you'll see what happens. So it takes a few minutes. You click on start, but you'll see here this is what's happened afterwards. It's split the audio down into 6 separate stems: drums, bass, vocals, guitar, piano and other. So you can see here I've reduced the volume of the guitar. And then I can, once it's processed that, again takes a few minutes, you can then save the output file, which will be the original song but with no guitar. When you've renamed the files and saved them, they'll be found in My Documents, Audio Library and then Files. We'll just let me save this one here. So you can see that's in Documents, Audio Library and then Files. Sadly, it doesn't give them a sensible name, so you do need to go and check on the file, have a listen to it, see which one it is, and then rename it accordingly. But you can play them here and you'll hear what it sounds like. I'm obviously keeping the clips very short to avoid any copyright strike. That concludes my overview of the M EFCS software for the MK300 pedal. I hope you'll agree that it's quite a powerful bit of software for a low price pedal. I think it offers lots of flexibility in the way that you can design and save your effects. The new feature which allows splitting of audio into stems is a fantastic addition for people wanting to create backing tracks and so on. I hope you've enjoyed this content. If you have, please remember to like and subscribe and come back for more in the future. Thanks very much.